What's up, guys? It's Coach Gaglione here. This is another edition of our Stage Ready series. This is our third episode so far. And at the time of this recording, I'm just finishing up my next week of training. At the start of this week, I was about 6 weeks out from the show date of August 1st, and I'll be entering my next week of training, which would be about 5 weeks out from the show. We're going to kind of give some recaps every week or so, just to kind of give you guys a sense of how the training is going, what I'm doing in terms of diet, and I want you guys to be able to follow along. So in terms of the diet, right now I'm still kind of doing 6 lower carb days. My carbs were drastically lower this week. I was having about 50 grams of carbs per day. And I was having about, just like a protein shake. Been using the hydrolyzed whey Formula 1 from First Form. It's really good, so that's been helping it digest really fast. It gets in and out of my system quickly, and I don't have any kind of stomach issues with that. So that is working pretty well. Obviously, getting some water, some electrolytes as well. And then I'll usually have some rice and tuna post-workout, and then kind of my normal meals. And then Friday has still been a high-carb day for me, which is my favorite day of the week. So I want to kind of recap. This week was a little bit different. One of the things that I often get asked about is, well, how's your strength? How's your strength? Have you lost your strength? So that's been something, as someone who kind of identifies as a powerlifter and someone who coaches powerlifting, we have a powerlifting team at the gym. And I've been involved with, powerlifting and coaching for going on 14 years now. I did my first meeting back in 2006 at 18 years old. And truthfully, I always really care about strength. It's in the name of our gym, and one of our goals is to have a stronger community. And I do believe that strength is important for everyone, and one of the reasons why our podcast is called Powerlifting for the People, because I do believe that strength does matter, and strength is going to help you no matter what your goal. I also kind of want to show people that you can, especially the bigger guys out there, I want to show people that you can be healthy. You don't have to carry a lot of excess body fat to have good performance. And, not necessarily like elite world class. I'm not talking about all-time world records, because at that level, you are absolutely, you're going to sacrifice some health when you're really trying to push your body's limits and do things that, no other human has done before. And, if you followed along my journey and my kind of road, from all the way from super heavyweight down into the 198 class, where I did a water cut to make, at the time, to my knowledge, and at the time of this taping, I believe I'm the only man, and this is equipped, to squat 800 pounds in 6 weight classes. So, and that is with equipment. But I still think that's an amazing feat, regardless of, wearing a squat suit or knee wraps or not. I'm really damn proud of that. So what's different about this is, in the past, I was still kind of primarily using powerlifting as a means, and powerlifting and more strength-oriented training. And this was like the first time, really ever, that I did. This was a true hypertrophy block. I've kind of done, I think we've all done some, stuff in high school. We've played around on some machines, but even from an early age, I primarily focused on strength. I had my old wrestling coach was a former power lifter, and we did bench pressing, we did box squatting, we did trap bar deadlifts. Those were kind of our primary indicator lifts, and then we did some assistance work from there, push-ups and rows and single leg squats and things of that nature. So strength has always been a focus, even from, I would say, 9th or 10th grade on in high school. And 10th grade was when I really started to get more serious about the weights, and so much, in fact, that I, took up powerlifting at the ripe young age of 18 years old, like I mentioned before. So because of all that, I want to give some context. I decided to do like a little experiment. I did some kind of heavier lifting this week, just because at this point we're getting into kind of a peaking phase in terms of hypertrophy. And during this entire training cycle, I've never done a barbell lift to start the day, which is very counterintuitive and very different from from our powerlifting, because in powerlifting, we always do our big compound movements first. And what usually ends up happening is after a heavy squat, after a heavy deadlift, you're kind of spent. You don't really have much energy to do much else. But in terms of, doing cardio every day and in terms of doing lots of volume on assistance work, my work capacity's gotten a lot better. I've definitely brought up a lot of weak areas like in my shoulders and my rotator cuff, and I definitely neglected my upper back training the last couple of years. But especially when I was really kind of pushing for, those 900-pound squats when I was super heavyweight and stuff, and my training got very, very specific. So it's been cool to kind of do some more general training, and I've also feel like I'm also getting, more mobile and things like that, and also getting a nice stimulus in other areas that I haven't done before. So on Sunday, I decided that I wanted to do a little bit of, we did my normal kind of bench workout. I also used kind of a slingshot device called the Bench Freak Band. So I did some raw training. I think I worked up to a pretty easy set of 225 for 5 raw on the bench, which is nothing earth-shattering, but again, coming back from my shoulder injury, back in December, I couldn't bench 225 without any type of slingshot or anything like that, just because of a shoulder injury, not because of lack of strength or anything like that, that I kind of, I injured my shoulder, and I've just been kind of it's been a nagging injury since slingshot record breakers you could check that out in my Road to 220 series. So that's been an ongoing issue, and it's feeling a lot better. So I didn't want to push it. I definitely could have done more. But then I ended up working up to 285 for a set of 7. And again, I didn't want to push it any more than that in the Bench Freak Band. So that felt good. So that's promising. That's a good indication I'll be able to get back over the 500-pound mark when I get back in my bench shirt, which would be good for me because I do have some powerlifting goals I'd like to hit, which we'll talk about at another time. So this was kind of the moneymaker, and this was something that ended up not turning out so good, but it was a good lesson learned. So I was a little cocky because my conventional deadlifts have been feeling really good. As you know, I have not done any sumo deadlifts from the floor. I haven't done anything. I've done some hover deadlifts, I think I call them cone, sumo deadlifts. But everything's been under 400 pounds. So I have not done any kind of specific competition deadlifts. And my conventional has been feeling really good. So I was getting a little cocky. I thought 600 plus would have been very easy. But as I found, I got kind of schooled in the SAID principle. And if you're not familiar with the SAID principle, it's specific adaptation to imposed demands. So basically what that means in layman's terms is that you kind of get good at what you do. You get good at what you train. And in terms of powerlifting, during a peaking phase, you want to, in order to really express your strength fully, you want to practice the competition lift and your competition stance with the competition tempo and load. So obviously using the same stance, the same grip width, the same, equipment you're going to wear, that sort of thing, the same belt, and obviously heavy doubles, singles, and triples, with singles above 90% being the most specific training you could do. So I could not find my positioning at the start, and I was honestly just really fatigued that day. Obviously I've been really kind of pushing hard. I've been doing weight training 6 days a week, and I just didn't give myself enough time to recover. But again, I really wanted to try to do this unpeaked, and I wanted to kind of do this in a fatigue state to get a true test, because I'm very knowledgeable at kind of different tricks and peaking, and I didn't want to kind of have to do any of that. I wanted to just really see what I could do on a random day. And I also wanted to make sure that I kind of got all this out of my system from a mental standpoint and kind of use it as a means to promote our socially distanced outdoor deadlift sporting event that we're going to have July 18th. So, and if you're interested in kind of volunteering, you shoot me a DM. The registration is now closed at the time of this taping, but we'd still love to have you. It's also going to be our 9-year anniversary party for Gaglione Strength, so there will be an outdoor social gathering post sporting event. So you could shoot me an email to gaglionestrength@gmail.com for more information. Okay, so from there, worked up to 525, and 525 honestly moved fine, but just felt off. I kind of shifted to one side, and on video it didn't look too bad, but it just was not a great set. And then 565 was pretty horrible. Again, the lockout was insanely fast, but my positioning, I basically stiff-legged it. I set my hips too low, my hips shot up, the weight got out in front, and it made me kind of grind it off the floor. But again, the lockout was very easy, so I was like, you know what? If my positioning's better, I think I could still like pull 600 or 605. So I went up to 605, and this is never, in 14 years, this has never happened, at least that I could remember, stapled to the floor. Did not budge, could not get it moving. So I kind of gathered myself together. I gave it one more try, and then I kind of flew into the back wall and decided to live to fight another day. And if I was kind of coaching myself, I probably would have shut it down anyway. So shut it down. I was kind of frustrated. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I was also frustrated about some other things that were going on that particular day. So I decided to kind of throw myself a softball. So I think this is kind of a good lesson learned. And I'm not saying that you need to do this exactly what I did, but just in general, whether it's the next workout or whatever, I'm always good for like a heavy box squat. That's kind of my bread and butter. That's kind of what I grew up doing a lot of West Side style training. So like a box squat is something that I can kind of do at the drop of a hat and have a pretty good result. As you've even seen, some of my stuff footage when I trained with Matt Wenning and stuff, I was able to hang and I actually did the second best out of the whole group at Wenning Strength back when we were at the Arnold, and that was also not peaked and not planned, and I was able to, the only person that lifted me was Matt Wenning, so I consider that a big win, and it was only by, I think, about 40 pounds or so. And it was on a weird bar that I've never done before, and I was able to figure it out quite quickly. So I'm pretty good at box squatting, is my point. Now these particular box squats were definitely not my best, but even though this was clearly an off day, only getting a 565 sumo deadlift. But that being said, in the grand scheme of things, it's still 85% of what I did in December. I pulled 650 in December, and I'm weighing about 30, 40 pounds lighter. So in the grand scheme of things, during a hypertrophy phase, and no powerlifting training, no specific training, could be worse. But I still felt shitty, to be honest, because I really put a lot of mental energy in I really wanted to hit a triple bodyweight deadlift. Oh, excuse me. So it was 615 I missed. That was because there was a reason I put 615 on the bar, because I wanted to hit a triple bodyweight deadlift, and I weighed 205 on that particular day. So that was kind of the goal there. And I also kind of went off the diet and I had more carbs than I was supposed to, which also made me feel bad. But anyways, I worked up to 465 for a single, threw 5 plates on with the squat bar, so I hit 505 for a pretty strong set of 5. Got some encouragement from our staff, and that was good. I felt good about that. Form was a little sloppy. My hips were kind of kicking back a little bit, but the fact that I was able to do 505 raw for a set of 5, that felt awesome. So that was a real confidence booster. And I threw myself a softball. Sometimes you kind of need to, success breeds success. That allowed me to finish the workout on a good note. And it kind of allowed me to really have the rest of the week. The rest of the week went really well. I was able to kind of avenge that, I didn't quite avenge the loss, but I was able to kind of get past it. Part of being a good athlete is having short-term memory, and if a quarterback gets sacked, you got to focus on the next play. So in order for me to kind of get over that quickly, I kind of threw myself a softball. I was able to kind of smash it out of the park, and that kind of propelled me to get some positive momentum going for the rest of the week. On Mondays and Tuesdays, I kind of took it a little bit easier because I, really went kind of, for lack of a better term, ape shit on Sunday, doing heavy deads and then heavy squats. But I was really happy how that workout went, how it finished up, I should say. Even though I didn't meet my deadlift goal, hitting the squat for a set of 5 with 5 plates on the squat bar was fantastic. So I did some belch squatting, did my normal kind of hamstring work and stuff, my leg workout on Monday. Did kind of my back, shoulder, tricep kind of work. Did one pretty heavy on the pull downs on that particular day, nothing to really write home about. On Wednesday, I did some heavy inclines. It was the first time this cycle I went over 225 on the incline for a couple of reps. I did a drop set with 195 and 145, so that was cool. So the incline press has been feeling really good, feeling strong there, and it's been helping kind of my upper chest development, I believe, and it's one of my favorite kind of underutilized strength builders, so that felt really good. And on Wednesdays, we've been kind of pulling with our staff just to kind of get it in, because sometimes we're kind of just too shot after the leg work. But so after our upper body work, we'll usually just throw in, kind of a max effort set of deadlifts And on this particular day, I smashed 485 conventional. I wanted to kind of avenge the loss. So this was kind of my version of avenge the loss. So even though I didn't pull a sumo, my conventional has been feeling really good. We've been doing different, chains and bands and things like that. Some of our staff who are doing the deadlift meet, some of our interns who are doing the deadlift meet. So we filmed a little bit of a contest between, our buddy Black Tom Cruise, who's going to be helping, out at the meet, kind of to promote the meet. So we shot a little bit of a promo footage with him. So he worked up to 740 deadlift. Didn't quite lock it out, but still a strong gym lift nonetheless. In a loose meet, he might get a white light there. Very close. And then we had Anthony Lazarus. He smashed 600, and then he did, I believe, 700 or 70. Yeah, he did 705 with the reverse mini band, looking strong as well. He's been kind of doing some of the bodybuilding training as well and helping me out with some stuff with the staff. So been doing a great job. They're kind of the headline event. So really excited to have them kind of throw down. So I wanted to kind of throw my hat in the ring on that particular day and smash 485 conventional deadlift, which is the most I've done straight weight at this body weight, sub 210. And then I was able to hit a body weight PR of 525 for a set of 6. It felt really good. And it felt really good to kind of smash that. My upper back strength, my positioning on the conventional is feeling really good. So I think that's from all the rear delt and upper back work we're doing. So I'm very excited to see, once I actually get the sumo technique down, once again, how that transfers over once I start doing more specific competition stance training, because my back strength, my upper back, my lower back, my hamstrings, my glutes they're getting very generally strong. So very excited to see what I could do. Also, we had, Mary is an accomplished lifter. She's recently lost some weight. She's interning with us. She hit a PR at her new body weight of 315. And then she worked up to 345 with reverse mini bands. And then Mel hit a strong 375 pull as well. So not quite, she was kind of the same boat as me, not quite a PR, but a very, very strong pull for her. She's pulled over 400 in, both sumo and conventional. But again, she has been, she hasn't done any specific powerlifting work. She's been kind of doing the bodybuilding training alongside me. And, we've been training with the staff. We've been training with the coaches. And one of the things that we pride ourselves at Gaglione Strength is leading by example. We always our coaches always test drive the workouts ahead of time, so we're learning a lot of new things. We're test driving some new bodybuilding workouts, some new movements, some new machines in preparation for when gyms officially reopen. So Mary's been doing great. I've known Mary for a while. She actually was at our seminar with Andrei Milanichev, and then, Mel is a new hire, so she's going to be our head coach moving forward. She won the Arnold this year, the XPC finals in the 148 class. She got best lifter for equipped lifters. She's in the top 30 in the WPO rankings as well. So she's doing really well. And we're really happy to have her, someone that leads by example. And she's been kicking ass and taking names, and she's been doing a great job helping build out the gym and help me set up the equipment and film content for you all. Then from there, Thursday we did, again, a lot of our good mornings and kind of glute emphasis work and things like that. And then on Friday, I did a lot of, overhead pressing and shoulders and more triceps and upper back work. And this was my last kind of feat of strength or test of strength. I was able to work up to 560 squat and knee sleeves, and I hit really, really proud of this lift. Hit 6 plates on the big squat bar. I believe it's called the Mastodon bar, or it's one of those, but anyways, 60-pound squat bar. So I hit first 600-pound squat and knee wraps. Had Mellon call me up, so that was really cool, smashing 600. And then from there, I just did a little bit of back down volume, and I believe it was 480, I believe, if I got my math right. It was either 470 or 480, because we had the steel collars on as well. So 480 for a set of 8, and pretty cool. So that was kind of the strength kind of recap. So again, I did a 565 sumo deadlift, 525 for 6 conventional, and then a kind of incline and flat bench 225 for some reps. So, pressing strength, I'm kind of being very conservative because I don't want to tear a pec. I don't want to kind of bang out my shoulders. I've been kind of pushing the lower body strength a little bit more and kind of making sure my shoulders are healthy so I could actually have a good bench my next competition. And then for squat, I did a 505 for a set of 5 to a box, 560 in sleeves, and then 600 in reps. And so that's the strength test. From here, I'm going to start to cut barbells out and just focus on more posing, more specific work. And I'm really just diving in the next 5 weeks. I want to really want to get as stage ready as I can, show you guys what's possible. I've been as heavy as 340 pounds, 206 today, trying to get under 200 for the show. And I just want to show what's possible. This is nothing to do. I'm very comfortable with how I look physically. This is a mental challenge for me. I want to show people what's possible. I want to show people that you could be strong and lean. I want to show people that even if you're in a really bad spot, you can dig yourself out of a hole and you can accomplish great things with hard work, consistency, effort, and belief. It starts with your belief. It starts with everything in between your ears. So I want to show people what's possible. I want to inspire others, especially the people that are unhealthy, because I've been there and I know what you're going through if you're listening to this. So please check out the links. Please subscribe if this helped you. Please share it with a friend. Help spread the message of strength, because one of our goals is building a stronger community. So thank you guys for watching. And until next time, stay strong. And we'll see you soon.